We are just starting the recording now, and as many people come into the room, you are welcome to leave your cameras off or your audio off if you don't wish to be on the video. We are making this a very relaxed summit because we have some very exciting things happening, and we want to make sure that everybody is involved start to finish. I am Alexis Snelling. Williamson was my maiden name. I am now Alexis Snelling, the CEO of WeTransact, and I'm here with our amazing allies and team today who put on this summit together to really create a more cooperative startup ecosystem together. One of the things that I'd like to do is give a shout out to our allies and partners for the day. So I will go ahead and just do a quick share of my screen before we jump into what the day of events is. First, we'd like to start off with, let me make sure everybody can see. And I'm going to go with the whole screen here so everyone can see. We have incredible support from a lot of different allies across the ecosystem, and we are not alone in being very mission driven in terms of this more cooperative and sustainable way for us all to succeed together. The Anthem Awards, we are very excited to have been put up and nominated for innovation category at the Anthem Awards. If you're not familiar with these awards, this organization has put out the inaugural Anthem Awards to really feature those organizations, individuals, leaders in a variety of categories to really create social impact and social good. So in terms of SDGs, which are the UN Sustainable Development Goals, there are many categories that now your companies, your movements, your initiatives can all get acknowledgement for and also support. So if you're not familiar with the Anthem Awards, definitely I will share that link with you here in the tab. Hi, everyone. I'm welcoming more people here to the event. This is one of the reasons we wanted to make sure that the first session was pretty casual so we could get everybody online at the same time. So I'm sharing in the event chat the Anthem Awards, if you are part of it. We also have an invitation from Jessica, who is the director of the Anthem Awards. She has allowed us to share here the Anthem Club. So this is something that if you go to the website and go to the Anthem Club, she would love for everyone to take advantage of this networking organization so that you could connect with other folks in the social impact community. So this is a great way for us globally to get connected with more leaders, thought leaders, strategic partners, alliances, all sorts of things that could come out of being a part of this very aligned network. So the Weebly Awards is the first award of its kind, and that led to the Anthem Awards. This honors the purpose and mission-driven work of people, companies, and organizations worldwide. So by amplifying all of our voices, we are all here leaders in our different areas. We can spark that global change together. And that's what today's summit is all about. It's a real raise on so many levels, whether it's fundraising, your mission, your company, your goals. There's so many ways that we can raise up together, and we are going to be implementing some very exciting new technologies in doing so. So in terms of creating new benchmarks of success, what I'd love for everybody to do to start this collaborative approach, please share in the chat where you are from in the world right now and a message about what mission you might be working on right now and looking to solve. That could be an SDG goal. It could just be a mission. It could be something you're hoping to do. So if you're in the beginning of an idea of a movement, go ahead and share that so we can see what everybody's missions are about. So as those are going up, thanks so much. We see we have people joining in from LA, founder of Gritty in Pink, super cool. Thanks for being here today. Katrin, from New York, yes, the fourth floor, one of our awesome ally partners, which you'll be able to meet later on and hear more from her co-founder, Breen. So many great missions that are happening. So definitely drop those in the side so we all can follow, support, and share. Amazing. Thank you, Mary, for sharing. Oh, this is amazing. Michelle, yes, you'll be on the next panel with us. Miriam, oh my gosh, more on climate tech to come. This is great. Now today, as we go along, the first thing that I wanted to let everyone know in the summit and every event that we host, we hold very true to the core of our mission and values, and that is our HER principles. No matter what our missions are in our companies or how we are individually positively impacting the world and our communities, we want to do it with her. And what that means is humanity, empathy, and responsibility. So we would love for everybody to carry yourselves with that today as you participate in the summit, and also how you engage with one another, not only in your own life, but also your businesses. This is what unites us, is that we share this approach, and we're excited to continue this HER movement together. Awesome. Lots of California. All right, so let's dive right in. The WeTransact platform, I want to share with everybody a little bit about who we are, why we're hosting this event, and why this is so near and dear to our hearts and our founders' hearts. WeTransact is an innovation platform, and a lot of people don't know what that is, and that is okay. And we want everybody who doesn't know to feel free to drop in any questions at any time. We want to address that. But if you want to think about what we do, is our platform is connecting the dots across ecosystems so that we can more effectively and intelligently connect with one another. So we have many different movements, ecosystems, and organizations that have wonderful online remote communities. But how we want to improve these communities and to really amplify their success ratio is to make sure that they don't become echo chambers. They don't become silos where you're just talking within one group. The way that we do that is able to use our AI and human-driven platform to connect knowledge, resources, and people at the right moment in time. So this is what our platform is all about. We'd like to foster a very cooperative approach so that we can spark innovation in a more successful and human way. So that is why we're excited to be putting on this event. We have been in stealth mode over the last year, working with all of these partners and allies who we are featuring here today, partially because we wanted to make sure their actions spoke louder than their words. And that's really important to us and everyone in the community here at WeTransact and all the ecosystems that we connect, that we do share in those values, but we also are doing what we say in the world. If we're going to implement change together, that's how it's going to be done, is by those leaders and those organizations who are taking action and making those changes happen. So we thank everyone here for being here today. We are totally an organically developed movement, and we're excited to make many announcements today on a variety of topics which are very hot, from NFTs and DAOs, which a lot of us have gray, fuzzy understanding of. We can clarify some of that, and we also can learn from each other today during the summit about it. And we're going to share some exciting news about how we're going to be implementing it to our HER values and promoting the cause to support all of our missions together. We also have our allies coming on that are going to share a lot of information and resources so that you can really connect your communities as leaders with these organizations that align with your values and also can help support you on your missions. So really networking to success and how to create those ecosystems of success. It takes a village. We've all heard this before, but we need to connect smarter and make sure that we are really taking action together. So that's going to be an exciting panel later today. And we, of course, the last part of the panel before we get to our action section is going to be on responsibility. And the responsibility as a leader is diligence, making sure that we are doing what we say we're supposed to be doing, making sure we're following through with those actions. And one of the best ways to demonstrate this is through diligence. And that can be diligence when you're pitching, it can be diligence as you're going through investor reviews, and it can also be diligence in just how you relate to people. So we have an incredible guest, Amy Wood, who is head of Most Fundable Companies. That's Pepperdine University's list that just put out their most fundable company list this year. She will be joining with us to share the importance of diligence and also give some great resources for you as well. So that is the first portion of the summit. That is our celebrating, collaborating, discussing, sharing section. Now it's time after that to stop talking and get to action. So the action is, of course, we now need to invest in her. So we have our first group, which is Circle One, who is going to be demonstrating their pitches, their works, their missions, and these are deals in progress so that we can attract the more aligned investors who understand the power of this movement, who understand the power of their products and world-changing movements as well. So once we have the investor event and pitches, you are welcome to join into that. We will be showcasing our technology and how then you could connect directly with those founders to invest in them or request more information or even be able to view their diligence. So we're excited to show that off. And last but certainly not least is Own Trail. We have the CEO, Rebecca Bastian, who is joining us. She's leading the workshop today for Own Trail. And this workshop is to really showcase how you can leverage their platform to send out beacons, share your story, and be able to attract help when you need it through the platform, but also to be able to give back and collaborate and support others on their missions as well. Rebecca, you may have seen her in the news. Not only has she recently raised her and she shared her real raise story with all of our founders, but she also is the one who coined the authentic term. So if you've heard about authentic movement, she's a writer for Forbes and is very excited to be joining us today. So everyone's aligned, everybody's doing incredible things. We value your time. So if you're not able to stick with us the whole day, this will be recorded. We will be sharing that and you can asynchronously tune in when you can. So all the resources and links will be shared throughout the day. That is just an overview of our entire summit. And again, know we're welcoming in a lot of different people to the event. So feel free to also post in the side in case you just came in your mission for the day. So before we get to the very first panel, I want to share with you a little bit about why this is so important to me. I have been a lifelong entrepreneur, and like so many entrepreneurs out there, you were an entrepreneur before you even knew what the word was for it. Selling raffle tickets out in front of the grocery store so that I could pay for my trip to nationals. I was an Olympic level ice dancer. This is a very expensive sport, and of course my family didn't necessarily have the resources at the time to be able to always pay for it. So I had to earn my way as I went. And this is something I learned at 8 years old, and it's just been instinctively in me that if I want to make something happen or have a dream of mine to achieve it, that I would have to go out and earn scholarship or sell those raffle tickets or do whatever it took. And so that's something that I've had in my bones since I was a child. It, I think, was somewhat genetic. Fourth generation of female founders and owners, which for women during those generations was not the norm. And I think a lot of that inspiration and barrier of thinking that that's not something that a girl could do was never there for me. I was very fortunate to have role models and leaders around me that this was just matter of fact. It's just what you could do if you work hard. And really, that is where I came from in terms of my entrepreneur experience. Fast forward through many different lives and companies. I had online business, which was in the fashion industry, expanded to a global business that then led me into the tech world. And it was during this transition that I realized how hard it was as a female founder to fundraise, and that there were different obstacles for women. There are different obstacles based on your geographic location in the world. I was from Chicago, lived all over the country. I've been in many different startup ecosystems from Seattle to New York, and I had to move constantly. So one of the pain points that I struggled through was not necessarily being in the right city for what I wanted to do. So I'd have to pick up, move, which I did, to San Francisco and to Silicon Valley to make sure that I could find the most aligned resources that understood what it was that I was trying to do, that understood my vision. So if you've moved across the country for this, or the world, which a lot of us have, please share that in the side, because that is a reality of what it takes. Entrepreneurs, location is just as much of a barrier, and this is something we're excited to change. The pandemic has opened up many opportunities for us, and now that we are all together realizing that we can do this remotely, it is events like these and new technologies such as NFTs and DAOs and the platforms, the AI platforms that we are creating, that are now going to be possible. That now the world is ready for a new way to connect and to collaborate and to make change. So I'm very honored to have been a part of this movement and to help find better practices and more efficient ways for all of us to connect. But my goal, and I think the reason everybody is here today, is we want to put an end to the winner takes all startup world. If that's your jam and you love that, great, but we need an alternative. And founder isolation is a very serious thing that has been unspoken in the startup world for really over a decade, and many have suffered from. And it's not just those who are struggling. There was the CEO of Zappos, and that is a very unfortunate story that if you're not familiar with, he was one of the most successful entrepreneurs, and he struggled with founder isolation. And this is something that is not a path we want to repeat. And these are brilliant, amazing human beings who have so much to offer the world and so much that they can create. And if they are taken from us too soon because of founder isolation and other stresses, that is something the whole world loses. So we want to keep everybody whole and healthy and their best selves, so that we can really ensure that we are the best leaders for our missions. So that is something that's really important to all of us, and really making sure everything stays remote and connected. So the sense of community that we're building here today, as you noticed, this is very casual, everybody's faces up. We want to keep this going. All of us matter. All of us are leaders. All of us are on stage here together. So if you have at any time you want to raise your hand or say something, put it in the chat, and we definitely will invite you to speak on stage, because all of us here could easily be somebody on a panel. So please be involved, share your voice, and as we go along, don't be shy. So I'm going to start to open up to introduce to a few people, since we are coming on now. Dika, Michelle, and Miriam are on our first panel, as well as Abby. So what I'd love to do is have you guys come on and just introduce yourselves, your company, and your missions.
You want to go in alphabetical order, Alexis?
Let's see. Let's have Miriam go first, then Dika, and then Michelle, only because that's how I'm seeing it in my screen.
Sounds good. Well, anyway, thank you very much for this invitation. And my name is Mariam Ispahani, and I'm a climate tech entrepreneur. I have been in the renewable space for more than a decade now. from solar energy, dabbling in little bit wind and hybrid systems, went on to work on climate tech. So last 2+ years been focused on that, solving the plastic pollution problem with bio-based products. So my company is called Shonali Bioplastics. We're a US-based Delaware registered company, but we also have a company in a country called Bangladesh, which, if anyone doesn't know, is close to India. And that is the reason being we want to do our manufacturing over there. So pretty much right now we are focused on investment so we can get to the manufacturing to commercialize our products. We have investors we are speaking with, as well as customers who have already signed up with us, and we have made our prototypes, which they have approved, and some others are testing. So we're pretty excited to get this show off the road. We see 2022 as a very fruitful year, and we're just so happy to be part of this journey with WeTransact. Thank you.
Thanks so much, Miriam. It was very exciting when we first connected, and that other thing about the pandemic, again, I keep mentioning, to meet you here in San Francisco, and you were all the way over in Bangladesh. It's very cool how these things are happening all the time for the right reasons. Thanks so much for sharing. Dika, let's hear from you and tell us a little bit about what your mission is and your company.
Hi, thank you so much, Alexis, for having me. My name is Jaka DK, and my company is called Omatochi. And our mission is to help seniors safely age at home, because 90% of people say they want to stay in their own home as they age. And our mission is to help them do so while improving the quality of life for them. We've been working on this for about 2 years. I have an amazing team that has come on this journey with me. And we're piloting in the Bay Area. Just like Miriam, 2022 will be a great year for us, because we're just at the right about to launch. So our solution provides peace of mind and social engagement to seniors and their family. We do so through our safe in-home care and integrated technologies to promote physical activity, emotional and social engagement for seniors, which is a huge differentiator for us, and overall mental well-being for our seniors. For our SDG goal, of course, ensure healthy lives and promote well-being for seniors, which is why the seniors are at the center of everything that we do, while keeping the families connected and informed. I created this company because I do understand what it's like to care for your senior from afar. Families are moving farther and farther away from their loved ones, and sometimes it makes it really difficult. I had to do that with my dad from 6,000 miles away. I'm still doing that for my mom, so I do understand that. And our hope is to help families in the US and hopefully around the world. Thank you so much. I'm so excited to be part of this journey.
That's amazing. Thank you so much, Dika. And definitely something that resonated when we first met. That was something I went through, having to help my mom, who went blind during the pandemic and then now had to be in assisted living. So that's a very difficult transition, that we're not alone, and there's a lot of people out there. So thank you for the solutions that you have been working so hard and continue to provide. Michelle, let's hear from you.
Hi, everybody, and thanks for having me, Alexis. I'm really excited to be part of WeTransact's and Circle One, along with Miriam and Alexis. We've been working on this for a year, and it's so exciting to see everything come to fruition. It's just amazing how far we've come. I am founder and CEO of My Librarian. We're a Delaware C Corp, and we raised about $300K, and our product is in private beta. It's a book recommendation service and club, and there's an API. It's a machine learning, artificial intelligence data training set that runs the app. We have about 3,000 users, and then booksellers can use the API to run their their sales catalog through it. So they get more diverse, unbiased recommendations from librarians who truly are the best book experts, and excited to be pitching later on. Thank you, Alexis.
No, this is great. Well, I appreciate you guys sharing a little bit about your companies. I just wanted to see here as we pull people on. Abby will be coming on in a little bit as well. So definitely we will get to that. One of the things that is so important about what we're doing today is talking about NFTs for good. And one of the things that we wanted to start off with was high level, what is an NFT? We would love for you right away to drop in any questions you have about NFTs into the side. The NFT can take a variety of forms. So in thinking about what an NFT is, that is a way to have a digital asset. That could be an image, it could be a video, it could be some other sort of digital software or presentation. So what it is in terms of an asset, you think of something that can be sold, that could be traded. And one of the ways that we're excited about implementing NFTs is as trading cards. This was something that really resonated to us. We had been talking about, oh, wouldn't it be amazing if we had many different founders with SDG goals or little superheroes that could be maybe even little dolls where the proceeds of the dolls could go. And of course, that takes money and resources and partnerships to find somebody to produce those dolls and to create those. So what was exciting is that with a digital asset or an image that we could create, we could almost do the exact same concept. Instead of having to sell a doll or sell an item or a t-shirt to support the cause for all the founders, we could actually create at very low cost the NFT digital asset. So we're looking at founder trading cards. I'd love for everybody to share on the side. Have you bought or sold an NFT? Who has a crypto wallet? Let's get a kind of a pulse of where everybody is in the room so we know how deep we need to go. Yes, from Katrin, great. And these are all things that are new. So don't be afraid if it's something that you're like, oh, I don't know about it. You know, we're all learning and there's so many ways that they can be used. One of the things about NFTs is I wanted to start off with what is the main reason that these founders came together and were excited about using NFTs and creating a trading card series. And I just love to pass the mic over and see what attracted you guys to this initial idea, very out of the box thought. Yeah, Michelle.
So based in San Francisco, I love hearing about new ideas and ways for founders and just creators to make money from their work. So digital objects with unique codes embedded that provide ownership and make them valuable are... Oh, Abby just joined. Hi, Abby. Nice to meet you. Just wanted to call that out because she's our other panelist. So I feel that NFTs are a good experiment in a way for creators to earn something from their work. And what I like about them is they're amplified through communities, and librarians are all about communities. And first and foremost, I'm an author. So I'm doing an experiment with a book that I'm doing, which is about an entrepreneur who's surfing. And I'll tell you more about that later. But I just like to see creators earn from their work so we can continue to create, right?
I love it. Yeah, and this is an experimental phase, right? You know, it's a tool, and like any tool, it can be used many different ways. So it's great to hear what attracted you, and let's move over. I want to make, before we go any further, Abby, welcome. We were just jumping in early. So
I was going to say, I thought this was starting at the 30-minute mark. So apologies.
We got on the roll.
Slightly late.
This is all comfortable. Everyone's welcome. Doors open. Let's definitely give you the stage. We'd love for you to share with us, of course, who you are, what your company is all about, and your mission with your company.
Absolutely. So it's great to be here. Thank you so much, Alexis and fellow panelists. I'm really excited for diving in. My name is Abby Sugar, and I am the founder and CEO of Play Out Apparel. We are a gender equal, values-driven apparel company and building a bigger shopping ecosystem, especially focused on the Gen Z consumer. So Gen Z consumers are very dedicated to shopping and supporting brands that support their values, specifically including social good, social equity, awareness of climate change, as well as 56% of them shop outside of their assigned gender. So everything that we design doesn't have men's or women's sections. It's just clothing. The way that people are different sizes, somebody might be a medium, somebody might be a 3X. We have inclusive size range. We just have inclusive shapes. So on the bottom, if your body shape needs a pouch front, we have that. Or if it needs a flat front, we have that. So just shop by shape, not by assigned gender expectations. I met Alexis through female founder circles, fundraising, etc. And I personally was named to the Forbes Next 1000 2 months ago. And thank you. We were written up in the New York Times this past summer. So on this crazy fundraising journey and just the challenges that we face as female founders, as somebody with a tech-enabled and a tech part of my company, but I also have a physical product, so it's been very challenging. I see the potential for NFTs, especially with my focus on Gen Z, as very exciting. I also know, there's a few people from the fourth floor here that did a piece on where are all the women in crypto. Like it's very easy, it's very early. Yes, thank you, Michelle. It's very early sort of in this new technology. And I definitely want to make sure that we're aware and leading sort of our involvement in that. And when Alexis and I were talking about NFTs and alternative forms of fundraising, the ability for collective support and action, which I'm sure we'll dive more into when we're talking about what are NFTs, what are DAOs, is really important to me. So I wanted to make sure that we were all uplifting each other. So that's my spiel.
Love it. We love the spiels, and we want to hear everybody's spiels, because what's really cool about this room is really that we all are doing amazing things. I think all of us are inspiring each other and giving each other that like extra motivation, and this whole project has lifted us all. It's just created an extra sense of energy, and your work is incredible. Great products, but it is different having a product and combined with the tech. I mean, again, we're breaking all the boxes. We don't fit into one box anymore, and that's okay. We're celebrating that. So this is so cool. As we go through, let's go to Miriam and then Dika and share with us kind of your take on NFT. Why would you even consider this? Why did you think this was a good thing for your company to experiment with?
Okay, so I first heard about NFTs through David at WeTransact. And I was really excited because he showed me, how it works on his computer. And I had no idea, never heard about NFTs before that. And of course, have heard about Bitcoin and crypto and all this for a long time now, and the blockchain. But then when I was introduced to NFTs, I said, this is a fantastic idea, that like this is something that we should do. And then when Alexis mentioned that we should do this as founder trading cards, I was definitely attracted to the idea, signed up, that, yeah, this is something that we should, this is the future, and this is futuristic, which is, and being an early adopter, I have always, been on board to try to get things into technologies and ideas in advance. And so that's why I'm very excited about this. Definitely glad to learn more as I'm exploring, and I have not registered yet, but through WeTransact, I will be doing this whole NFT project. Thanks.
Thanks, Miriam. I mean, that's the exciting thing about NFTs and why we wanted to have this event and make it really comfortable for everyone to hear everybody's stories, because you don't say, oh, I don't know anything about it, or I have to wait. This is a tool. And as long as we learn what the capabilities of the tool are, and then figure out, okay, how do we want to use this tool so that it aligns with what we're doing? Why not? It's another tool in the toolbox in a variety of ways.
And I think that that's exactly the point of DAOs, right? Of NFTs. So I know we'll dive into this, but DAO standing for decentralized autonomous organization. And so part of it is being able to create these rules and having an organizational decision around how to go about doing something, which is really exciting.
It is. And absolutely, we're going to get to a DAO right after Dika. Dika, we're going to hear from you. Why were NFTs and us, when you found out about the trading cards, why did you do this? Why would you agree to this?
So I had heard about NFTs, didn't know much about them, and when Abby called me to tell me about this amazing project, all I heard was, we're gonna be doing something different. We're breaking all the rules. The traditional rules of fundraising does not apply. Sign me up. That was all I heard. So of course, because we know as female founders, even though people say, oh, it's in your head, there are a lot of challenges that come with us being female founders. I had a VC tell me something a few weeks ago. She said, and she understood absolutely. She said, you're a female founder, you're a female founder of color, you're a female founder of color with an accent. So even though I love my accent, I love everything about me, but there are challenges that come with, being in this space. And, if we can do something differently and support each other, absolutely, why not? So yes, that's why I'm excited about this project. Love you too, Abby.
Well, we definitely, as we're going through, thank you for sharing kind of why you would even agree to this, what you loved about it. But let's dive in. One of the things that is really cool about the way that we've decided as a group is, we could have just said, okay, we're going to do all this work. We're going to put the NFTs out there, and then we're going to sell it and treat it like a crowdfunding campaign, right? Where you promote and then everybody finds out and they can buy and they can participate. But as a group, I think what was really exciting is all of us were like, why don't we share each step of the way, the questions that we asked, what we didn't know, what we had to learn, what decisions did we have to make? Because there's a lot of nuances to these different tools, whether it's the NFT or the DAO or other types of options that you have. And so what we wanted to really share with everybody today is where we're at, what we are thinking about, really to hope to inspire you to think about this tool in out-of-the-box ways and to use this tool to accelerate your mission and what you're doing. And that's because we want every single one of us here to have the tools necessary, have the resources, and have the ongoing support that you deserve when you're putting everything on the line to make these world-changing companies and initiatives happen. So just know this is a journey. We're going to be sharing this journey and having an ongoing summit so you can learn with us. Hopefully this will make it more comfortable for you and us to be totally transparent and vulnerable and share what we know and what we don't know. So let's start out. Who would like to share what the NFT is to them? Or yeah, Michelle, I saw a hand go up. Let's let you go.
Well, I'd love to hear more about DAOs because I know that you and David really set up the DAO for WeTransact. Can you tell everybody just a little bit of the process that you used to, create our WeTransact DAO? And did you create a new currency and so on and so on? I'm just curious.
Let me share my screen really quick. This is going to be helpful to all of us. I think having a visual, I'm a visual person, so I'm going to pull up this graphic here and get this in the front. Alrighty. Perfect. So now that I've got this up, I'm going to really, I will share this with everyone after the event as well. But what is a DAO? The decentralized approach versus a centralized organization. So we all know as entrepreneurs, or maybe you don't, if you're thinking about starting an organization, is there's many different types of organizations. There's corporations, there are organizations, there's LLCs, there's many different types. Now, each type of those organizations have different requirements. Maybe it's reporting to a state or a local government jurisdiction. There's also different taxation implications. So no matter what organization that you're forming and whatever it is that you're doing, there's certain things that are really important to look at. So the main categories are governance, activity, trust, voting, how we count these votes, operational costs, and really geography, because that is what's really important to compare. So as we look at a traditional organization, I will share this with everyone after. The main differences between a DAO is this is a way to have an organization with a collective of people. Each person in the organization owns the organization together. So if you were thinking about having an organization where there's somebody who is at the top and then they grow their company and they hire and they bring people in, that's one way to do an organization. That's that top-down management approach. So the top authority has kind of final say on what goes on. If you look at more of how a collective or a cooperative operates, that would be closer to a DAO organization where now we are able to form this organization. And an organization, even in real life, is that it's bringing people together and having them work as a group, and then they have certain guidelines that they follow and how they work together. So in terms of the activity, how do they interact and work together? Normally, in a central organization, it's very private. What happens inside a company doesn't have to be shared with the shareholders. There's certain information that is, and then there's certain information that's considered privy or private. With a DAO, everything is about transparency. It's about sharing publicly, saying, hey, look, we have nothing, that has to be under the covers. This is something that's for the public good. We're all sharing in the activities. We can see the way decisions are made. We can see how votes are made. Everything's out in the open. So in terms of an approach in an organization, that's something that was very attractive in the DAO. And the way that those decisions are made is important. If you are in a cooperative and we're in a city together, we could have a meeting in a room. Well, of course, post-COVID, we all can't be in the room together. In fact, many of us here, even in the group that is forming this DAO, we haven't even met each other. I think I just met Dika. I haven't even met you in person yet. Abby, you just happened to fly out from New York last week and we finally met. So we don't have to be in the same physical space or location. This can be something we can do virtually and creating the DAO. So no matter where we are in the world, and that also means you could be very nomadic, you could be changing, you could be adapting. So location is really important because now we can unify based on causes. So I'm going to go ahead and also take a quick pause just on the first few, bullet points, going over governance, how the activity is different or unique from an organization. I'd love to stop sharing for a moment and just open it up to everybody here. Let's talk about, why did we feel the DAO was better than us starting, let's say, a nonprofit or a cause or some other organization? Abby.
Well, I'll jump in terms of that question about sort of comparisons. Number one being the decentralized aspect of it, in my opinion. But number two, what I think is really exciting about DAOs, and I think that lends itself to this whole journey that we're talking about sharing in terms of what are NFTs, what is crypto, how do we participate in this new technology, is that a DAO is really not just voting, but it's the collective conversation around how we want the group to be governed and educating each other and uplifting each other as a community. I mean, I kind of feel like a broken record sometimes when I come back to this, but this is how, what my company stands for. This is how I move through the world. And so having the capability to do that and to uplift each other, what was really appealing to me about having a DAO specifically for the female founder NFT collectors cards was I was telling Alexis, like, I know that I am a white woman, I'm privileged. Yes, we're all, you know, if we're talking about female founders, I identify as female, I am queer, so there are certain barriers, but I do acknowledge that I have a lot of privilege. And I was worried that if we were each going to come out with our own cards, because of the access that I have, because of the work I have already done with fundraising on my own, my card might have a lot more bids, bring in a lot more, you know, proceeds or whatever than someone else's card who maybe doesn't have the privilege, doesn't have the access, or has not built their network in the same way that I have, because they've just been doing it for a shorter amount of time, right? So I wanted to make sure, even if my card is trading higher, all the proceeds are going into a DAO that is governed by community chosen distribution decisions, right? And so we're uplifting each other and all helping each other succeed.
Yeah, that was an amazing thing when you brought that up. That was something that we were thinking about, because we all know not every crowdfunding campaign, for example, actually gets funded. And that is totally dependent on their marketing dollars, which we all know resources may be more limited for some founders than others. It also depends on their networks, and some might be more limited or they're earlier on. It doesn't mean that the actual idea or product or what they're doing is less than. But if you looked at the dollar amounts of how much they're able to raise, it appears that way. And so it's like a self-fulfilling prophecy. So how can we undo that and equitize it? Is bringing all the value that we all have and saying, okay, now let's equitably distribute it. Rose, I'd love to hear from you. This is exciting. As you, we met through the fourth floor, another great panelist we'll have on later at the fourth floor, but Rose, welcome.
Thank you. Thanks, Alexis. Hi, everyone.
Hi.
My question, so I'm a general corporate lawyer, securities lawyer, you know, traditional stuff here. I'm very much in favor of blockchain, cryptocurrencies, NFTs, and this whole revolution for decentralized activities. Totally for it. My question, though, is relating to the DAO, which I'm starting to become more and more familiar with. Are you in agreement that it's technically or not? Well, is it would you consider it a recognized legal entity of some sort, or is it something like more of like an organization, as you described it, where it's like a club, if you will, a club on someone's blockchain, a club where, you know, certain things are allocated, which could be coins or tokens or NFTs are created therefrom. The reason I ask this is because, you know, enforceability, that's always the issue. When somebody does something wrong and they fall out of the whatever that understanding is within that blockchain, whatever. So what happens? And do the courts come into play, and how do they characterize a DAO?
Great. I'm glad that we're bringing up all sides, and this is what today's conversation is all about, because we want to pull out these things. Partially, if we don't know, we're looking into them. And some of this is we have more legal experts that will be coming on to the next summits as we get to that stage. But these are the things to be looking forward to. And Abby, I saw your hand go up, so I want to make sure I pass it to you too.
Yeah, I mean, I just wanted to say part of a DAO and part of the blockchain is smart contracts. And I don't know if you're familiar with those, Rose. I don't know at this point if it's so new, and this is a question for some of these legal experts, how smart contracts in the courts would be enforced or not. But the point of the smart contracts and the point of the blockchain being that the foundational rules and proposals and voting are in the code itself of the blockchain so that they can be publicly audited. So I don't know if it, you know, could even get to a point where it would need to go to a court if the collective is enforcing everything because it's a public record. Question.
Yeah, any which way it goes, there's always going to be some sort of, well, I won't get into it here. I just care about enforceability and how a court in the real world off blockchain until there's a court on blockchain. But and you know, while there's a real life court, like how would they characterize it, and what would they say in terms of resolving disputes or damages or all these things that could come up? If you're saying that blockchain avoids all of those things altogether, well, that's revolutionary.
It does. In fact, blockchain, that's what's so exciting about it, is everything that was manually done before, where a middle person would have to do these contracts or make these agreements and then have both sides agree to it. It's just digitizing that behavior and making it totally transparent. So once it's set, there's no way to erase or undo it, and both parties have to mutually accept it at that moment in time. So there is some reduced misunderstanding, and there is more responsibility to be taken at each transaction, at each moment. So whether that's a vote or whether that's a decision of the collective, that's something that is like determined by a rule that's been set by the organization. So we want to definitely do a separate summit, and this is a perfect preview to it, just on that topic, because it is so vital. And I think for those who are more risk adverse and legally inclined and have that background, that is a reality that has to be addressed, and each of the rules need to be very diligently thought through. And we want to do a whole summit just on that. We think the next one will be really valuable because, like any agreement between two people, it can go bad. You know, it's like any tool can be used. I always say it's similar to fire. You can use it to cook an amazing gourmet dinner or a delicious dinner around a fire, or you can use it to burn somebody. So we have to be aware of the power of the tool and all the consequences from each of the decisions. So we will get there. And definitely, we don't have an exact answer today because we want to leave it to the experts. And maybe we can talk to you more afterwards to bring you on the panel for that too. So I would love to do that.
You know, Alexis, for the most part, you know, new technologies, that's how it works, right? We're all learning, we're all adapting, and then after that, they are accepted. Anyway, I see Mary has a hand raised.
Mary, yes, let's welcome you to the stage. We'd love to hear from you.
Hi, everyone from Orlando. This is so fascinating. I'm so happy to be part of this. My question is, and it just came up while we were talking, is there going to be a limited number of founders in one section, and then we kind of cap it off, and then we do our thing, and then we're going to do another one maybe in 6 months or a year, or is there a I guess a timeline and a number of founders that are participating, or what you anticipate to participate?
This is so important. We plan, and this is something we've decided together, we want this to be an ongoing project. So this is very much the first. So if you want to watch the first group go through, we're calling it circles because that's our lingo and language that we use, but really it's an ongoing series. Now, the series will be numbered. So, of course, similar to if you could get your hands on that first Superman issue comic book, that's going to be very valuable. So I highly recommend everybody who could come in earlier, the better, for things like this that have a collectible component to them. That's an advantage for anyone who's able to be here, but it's ongoing. And we really hope that the success of all the founders helps raise up the value of all the cards as new founders come on. So yes, you can join in at any time. There will be multiple series, and that's something that we're really excited about. We may even have multiple releases of the same founder. Founders will also have different companies and missions and movements. I'm sure founders don't usually just have one company. They've had multiple. So we're excited to see many, many amazing cards for many founders.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, great questions. And these are all things that we want to address as we go along. And, you know, in terms of the DAO itself, I'm going to put that back up on the screen just so we could get to a few of the other important elements to start to be thinking about in the DAO. And this is very basic. We wanted to start from the very beginning so that these thoughts can really germinate. And as we do the next summit, we can really all be on the same page as we get to these more nuanced questions of how we're going to be moving forward. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen one more time and go back.
Alexis, while you're doing that, yeah. I just wanted to say that, did you know that the circle is predominant as far as a geometric pattern is concerned in nature? You know, we talk about rectangles, we talk about squares, triangles, etc. But the circle is predominant in nature. And so that is something that, you know, and you know, our planets are also almost circles, etc. So that's great that, you know, WeTransact has circles, circle 1, 2, 3, and such. So that's exciting for us.
Yeah, I love the circle. This was something that we discussed because the previous lingo or things that you've probably heard in the startup ecosystem is cohorts, right? And cohorts actually come from more of a gladiator term and reference, which is very combative. It's that winner takes all. So circles bring us together. It's inclusivity, and that was an important symbol, image. I love that you brought that up about nature. I mean, you definitely, fourth generation involved in terms of
what to do. Love the climate, love the environment. That's what we're about.
It's amazing. And as we really go in, one of the other things that we were thinking about in terms of inclusivity is there's a cost to inclusivity. If you have a large organization, it just costs more money. You have more people to, you know, have to process, manage all of these things. And one of the things that we really gravitated towards with the DAO and selecting a DAO for how we would be doing the distribution of the proceeds of our NFTs. And it can also be of the proceeds of many other things to come. So this is just, the NFT is one product, so to speak, in the store, which the proceeds will go to a DAO for this common cause, but it is the operational costs and the digitization, the technology, using the blockchain, using the smart contracts, now is able to automate where all of us are able to run this organization, and we don't have to have that fall onto one person or fall onto somebody we need to hire. So the cost of a DAO is going to be much more effective. It's going to allow us to scale. Now we don't think about, oh, this is just founders here in Silicon Valley or founders here in New York or founders in whatever geographical area because of where we physically are, but now it can be global. And there's a power to all of these founders promoting and sharing together organically, which will also help the costs stay low. So operational costs, whether that's marketing and promoting, where we don't all have to take on the burden of $50,000 to get it out there and have it be heard over the noise of the internet with digital advertising and other sorts of marketing efforts. But we could actually, by operating together, by having a larger group of founders globally, every time each one of us is posting, we know it's going to benefit and help promote and market. It's also every time we need to vote on something or the release of the proceeds to go into grants to be given and distributed equitably to the founders. This is all something that's automated. So let's talk a little bit about that. I would say the costs of a DAO versus if we were to do this globally. I mean, that's just, I think it would be cost prohibitive for a lot of movements to do this the old fashioned way, hire a community manager, hire, you know, fund manager, all these things. What do you guys think about that? Oh yeah, Michelle.
Sure. Well, I feel this integrates seamlessly with libraries who are already in the communities. Librarians first kicked off exploration of the blockchain in 2016 at South by Southwest, and they have a blockchain book that it came out in 2019. Sue Allman, who is my advisor at the University of Pittsburgh, and Sandra Hirsch from San Jose State University co-authored this book. Has all kinds of use cases for record keeping, credentials, for even fact checking or checking the accuracy of information, and also for interlibrary loan. But anyway, you know, I feel that libraries are already in communities, and there could be an effort, you know, a larger effort there. I know that for us, we're developing on Web3 the 5th version of our product, which will, you know, train our data set using on the blockchain. But yeah, I wonder, it kind of reminds me of communes in a way, you know, since I'm in California. You know, I guess I can say this too. It does, but maybe they're just like online communes, you know, like just get on Discord and join a commune. I mean, a DAO. I'm just kidding.
Michelle, what is, sorry to interrupt, what is the name of the book you said?
Oh,
Michelle, the book?
This book is
book.
just
Sounded interesting.
Blockchain,
Feel free to
and it's by
drop
Sue
it in
Allman
if you
and Sandra Hirsch, and it's part of the Library Future series. So it could, you know, it's just, you know, it's library centric. Yeah, it's just called Blockchain. It's just called Blockchain.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah, I'll drop
the name of it. Okay.
Thank you.
Great. Well, and you know, this is something we had to really think about because we're already running our own companies. We're founders. We're wearing like a million hats ourselves. So doing a big movement like this in the past really hasn't been possible. I mean, you're just, you know, keeping everything together, basically lights on and moving forward. So there's never been the bandwidth. So that was something that was really attractive. It was like, wow, we could leverage this technology, this tool, to organize ourselves in a way that also distributes the responsibility of, you know, I don't have to lead this group. We can all make these decisions together. We can all vote on this together. And that's something I'd love to see just a show of hands or even in the side. Have you led an online Facebook group or a community or anything of the sorts? Because I feel like if you've tried to pull events together and communities, you know how much work this is. It's a lot of work. What do you guys think about the work element? Like, is this going to detract from your own fundraisers and your own goals and your own companies? Because that's something as a founder, we have to prioritize what we spend our energy, time, and resources on, because we don't have a lot of it.
I do feel like
Yeah,
with anything, and especially because we're all in a learning phase, that there might be more time required for the startup of it. But I think that something appealing about this is that once we do the first circle, or once we have, you know, had meetings to figure out what the expectations and smart contracts are, DAOs lend themselves to everyone being committed to learning and to doing what their skill set is, right? I was reading a bit about blockchain and DAOs last week, and the author was commenting on, he's not a developer, right? He's not mining, he's not whatever, but he has done HR and marketing. And so he's really excited about being an ambassador for this DAO that he joined. So everyone can utilize their skill sets. And, you know, I'm a very direct and communication is sort of my fallback for everything. DAOs allowing more participation when you have the bandwidth and less participation when you don't, but being able to utilize what you're passionate about instead of, I know there's certain things that I know I can do them, but I just procrastinate because I don't like doing them. So if everybody can bring their skill set to the participation, that's really exciting.
That's huge. That's really, really huge. And Dika, I'd love to hear from you in terms of like the DAO. What are you were on board so quick, like you said, anything different that's breaking the rules. But what are you thinking about the DAO? Like, does it create peace of mind for you, or does it create more anxiety? Like, is it resolving issues and concerns, or the opposite?
Yes, it does create peace of mind. And like you said, because of the way it's structured, we're able to do so much with people all around the world. And as a founder, you have so many things that you have to deal with. And it is very stressful fundraising. this makes it so much easier. And I know, speaking to you, speaking to Abby, the whole concept of it, the whole ease of it, it of course is a learning curve. We have so much to learn from this, and we're gonna make mistakes, but it seems easier.
Yeah.
You know, so yes.
Yeah, that's important. I mean, comfort level and going through this. I mean, we're excited because we're doing this with fellow founders. So we have a threshold, right? That's pretty high for what we are comfortable when we don't have a roadmap. That's kind of the zone we live in as entrepreneurs anyways. In fact, that's our creative space. That's where we really are more artists than anything else, out of the box thinkers. So, you know, I'm excited that we're doing it as a founders series because we're going to be doing it with like-minded individuals who approach a no roadmap zone and are comfortable in that zone. And as Abby, you mentioned, later, once they see how it's been working, we'll of course get more people, and the movement will grow because there's going to be people who have, you know, less bandwidth, more comfort, you know, it'll change. But that's one of the reasons why we're having these summits so publicly. And instead of it just being the four of us having this conversation, we want to open it up to everybody, because the sooner we can all get comfortable, the sooner we can just get our hands on it, do it, learn from it, and grow, the faster we can use this tool for good. So let's talk about like the NFTs for good. When this money goes into the DAO, we're able to then vote collectively so that it could be released in the form of a grant. This is huge. This means no equity. Anybody else prefer grants and you didn't have to write a grant? That's huge. So let's go into what would a $25,000 or $50,000 by all of us sharing our cards together, what would it do for us? Because we got to look at how much time we put in and then how much we got out, right? So if we put up a card, what do you guys think the amount of time is? Obviously, we're the first group, so we're going to be doing these summits and sharing our discussions. So add all that time to our route. But the actual filling out a form, uploading an image and a video, thanking the purchaser of our NFT and sharing something with that. I mean, how much time is that for 25 or 50,000, and is it worth it for you and your company?
Do you want to go, Miriam?
Oh, okay. Well, I think that the way that WeTransact has set it up is a very smooth process, based on, you know, what I have seen, that was like so simple. And yeah, more than anything, I think that especially since we're trying to do good, and we are in, at least my company is in the climate tech space, so we are doing something about the environment and the situation that we're in. So I think that it is, you know, great to just basically get on the whole NFT bandwagon, and the returns are rapid, as well as it seems like high. So definitely that's a great way to go. I like that idea.
Yeah, I'd love to hear. Abby, I saw your hand up earlier. I don't know if that was just
no. And the other thing I was going to point out is that I don't know, maybe it's a Capricorn thing, maybe it's a CEO thing, maybe it's a founder thing, but I like control and playing better odds, right? And so we are in control of this NFT process of building this. And when you spend hours applying to a grant for $10,000, which I don't do anymore, right? It's too much time, and you're competing against how many other thousands of hundreds of applications, right? I mean, I was a finalist in a pitch competition that had over 200 applications, and there were 8 finalists, right? Which means that it was a 4% acceptance rate. One of my friends likes to say that going out and fundraising as a startup founder is more competitive. The percentage of success is lower than getting into an Ivy League college, right? So this is insane. So if we're able, you know, as founders, I think all of us are go-getters, right? Get her done. My personal life motto is fucking figure it out. So if there is a way that I can put my own effort in, because I know how hard I work, to making myself and others successful, that's great. As opposed to, you know, I do feel like throwing my hat in the ring against hundreds of other people for a $5,000 or $10,000 grant is not worth the time.
Yeah, no, I mean, these are all the cost analysis of time, and time is our most valuable asset as a founder, especially. Yeah, Michelle, I saw a hand go up.
Hello. So yes, $50,000 would definitely help us at this juncture. We would get the next version of our product out. I mean, that's exactly what I need to finish version 4. And it's about 2 to 3 months runway for us. Our tech is very expensive with the machine learning and AI aspect of it. And I just want to say, so for the one I'm doing for my personal novel, I figured each NFT will be about $200. That's the going the average sell, first time they sell. So it definitely has the potential to be quite lucrative, but at the same time, it's still an early technology that the field is still being formed. So you never know, but I haven't, especially since mine are on OpenSea, they take care of all the fees, for my surfing project. And I feel like it's just been my time these past 6 weeks. In my spare time, I've created some NFTs, and I will have almost 200 of them to launch on December 1st.
That's amazing. And this is something you could experiment with as well. I'm seeing a lot of founders, just saying, hey, I'm going to throw one up. Let's just try this out. We obviously highly encourage as much investigation, testing it yourself, buying one. But we'll be sharing everything as we go along. So hopefully you won't feel like you're doing something really scary, or if you have questions about things, we can leverage the community here and all the learnings that we've had along the way. Yeah, Michelle.
Are we going to get to see our founder trading cards at the end? Or I'd love to hear about the process of submitting them too, if we want to submit them. I don't even know if I've submitted my final product for the WeTransact female founder or the founder trading card series, but I'd love to see an example. I don't know if you have them done yet, but
let me get the link for everyone while we're talking about it. This is actually the first that we're sharing this for founders who maybe haven't met one of us, who's the first one. This is where you can submit to be a part of the NFT series that we're creating together. And you can, of course, join us on this exciting venture. The NFT submission, there'll be this form. You fill it out. Pretty much things you should all know easily. It's not going to be a long VC application telling us a million things and pitching us. You'll be quite refreshed how easy it is to get the information. And then after this event, everybody who's registered will be sending the second form, which will be uploading your image. That'll be a graphic. And that graphic will be, of course, the base of the card. All of the cards will have a frame. We will be showing the card, Michelle, on the next event because we'd like to have some actual examples from the submissions. But definitely the details that will be shared with it will be your SDG superpowers, that all of us have something here that unites us in what good we're contributing to the world. And that's really important because we definitely want to show that off as what unites us all. And we will, of course, have a secret video, and that is content that is connected to the NFT. So when you buy an NFT, you have an option. And again, this is an option, but we think it's a really great one to put in hidden content. What this means is whoever purchases that NFT can actually access exclusive content. That could be another video, it could be a website, a page, a game, it could be whatever you want. So you can use your creativity there, but we're going to be doing a gratitude video where you are able to speak directly to who has purchased and supported your card. And as that card is resold, it will then go to the next person who's supported and purchased the card. And this is really important for us so that there is a human story and voice behind this. We are not just an image. We're not just a graphic. This is who we are, what we're about. And we really want to make this be something that they feel a part of, and as if they met us virtually and we're, at that coffee shop getting to know who we are and wanting to support us. So in terms of the NFTs, that's just the process. And we will be sharing all NFTs with you. And then later, as we go through the next summit and decide the nitty gritty of all the details of how the DAO will work, what the rules are we all want to do together, then we will have an agreement, of course, to that, so that we all do agree to how this is going to work together. So those are the 3 stages, just to kind of prepare you for the process itself. But feel free to apply and get started. If you want to apply, get started, and then wait, you have 2 more phases of the process that you are welcome to take your time and come in when you're comfortable and ready. Miriam, I saw you raise your hand.
Okay. Yeah, so I filled up the form. It was very simple, basic, and so I'm definitely on board for that. What I wanted to say is personalization is extremely important. Yeah. And I remember years ago, I can't remember when, but like more than a decade ago, watching this science fiction movie. And nowadays, you know, science fiction is actually science fact, because all those things are like, you know, now in our world. And in the movie, they talked about how in the future, one of the very important things would be personalization. So for example, you know, when they know like what the person likes as well as their preferences. I'm not talking about big data and stealing our data and all that kind of stuff, but just generally speaking, if companies, and even as we are doing here with this WeTransact on NFTs, personalizing it so that, like, you know, we actually send, as you mentioned, a thank you video to someone. These things, you know, used to be done in the past. Like, I don't know, our mothers, grandmothers, etc., maybe fathers, they would send little cards, thank you notes, etc. Yeah. And nowadays that unfortunately has become a bit rare. And therefore we need to go back to personalizing, as we will see more of, I think, in the future.
Oh my gosh, it's such a good thing to bring up. And one of our advisors, this actually came from Cesar Bocanegra, who is the COO of Donors Choose, which is the largest non-for-profit in the United States. You've probably heard of it through Oprah and Colbert and, you know, all the celebrities, that's their charity of choice, so to speak. And it's a crowdfunding platform that actually our co-founder here, David, had helped create as well. And so what it allows for is teachers to be able to raise money for projects that they would do in the classrooms. And one of the most amazing organic ways that they grew and really got repeat loyal, you know, people to support Donors Choose, and why they grew so quickly to the largest nonprofit in the United States, was because at the end of every project, that teacher would send to everybody who donated to the project a packet. And the packet were these handmade cards and photos of the students and the children doing the project, and thanking them. I mean, in their hand, you know, like one of them was so cute that I remember David got from his project, and it was like, sorry, I smeared my card, I'm left-handed, you know, just like this personalization that you impacted and really made a difference in this person's world. So that is why we chose to do the gratitude video, because it is a digital form of the old-fashioned cards that you're talking about. And you know, that's what it's all about in a lot of ways. And to be able to connect with people, we're super excited about that. I had a question that popped up talking about how WeTransact, will they handle the mechanics, marketing, Discord channel, etc. We have on our platform, of course, many ways that we collaborate and innovate together. So we will be using that platform for everybody who signs up for the NFT, so that we can continue these conversations, have these discussions, really make sure as we're going along, everybody's on the same page. We definitely will be leveraging that. And in the next summit, we will be showcasing the technology each step of the way, and where we do use it and where maybe we use other technologies that might exist that are all set. We don't need to reinvent something if there's something great out there that we could use. So yes, and we'll show more how that will be along the process. So you guys are really invited with us on the journey. what else do we need to bring up or that we've been thinking about? Like, where are we at with some of our questions? We've had quite a few questions about, like, what's the purpose? I'd love to hear from you guys what you just would answer to what is the purpose of doing this and having an NFT trading card?
I mean, I feel like this question encompasses everything that we've been talking about from the very beginning, right? So the challenges that female founders face and underrepresented founders face in fundraising, the democratization of access to wealth and to a new form of wealth, not being left behind in this. Earlier in the conversation, like very beginning of the call, Kat made a great comment in the chat box about NFTs, crypto. I'm reading from what she said. NFTs, crypto, and blockchain will exacerbate the gender wealth gap unless women get involved now. So I think that it ties into that. It ties into uplifting each other as a community. I think that, you know, why this format and why now is part of it.
Yeah, and just so everybody knows, this is open to everyone. We did, of course, have so many individual missions that we identify with, but just know this is open for all founders, and that's really important. So whether that equity, access to capital, knowledge, resources, opportunities, that's really, I think, the uniting factor here. And it's going to do so much for so many communities. And Michelle, Miriam, Dika, how are you feeling in terms of things that, early questions that you had that maybe we should talk about or bring up?
Okay, questions. I'm like, when are we getting started?
I love it.
Let's go. No, I mean, you have addressed several of the questions. Thank you. And I also did some reading up myself. And this Michelle here, my God, 200 some, images, Miss Surfer. So that's amazing. But definitely, I think, like I said, I'm an early adopter. Always have been. Right out of college, I started a little startup with gadgets. It was called Gadget Galaxy, where you could buy unusual gadgets. So I'm, all about that. So that's it from me on this.
I love it. Yeah, it definitely is for early adopters. Hopefully we're making that more comfortable so more people can become early adopters. Michelle.
And there are more platforms coming up just besides OpenSea where they take 2.5% of your sales instead of having to create your own and pay your own fees ahead of time. So I think it's going to be, the barrier to entry is going to continue to go down. So I was just kind of like, why not? I feel like I love to take any opportunity to try to get more revenue for creators for my own projects, my own products.
It's exciting because we all are in very different industries. And I think that's what's so interesting about this project is that we can help so many different things that we're all doing. And I'm excited that the first group really, we're even in different stages. Dika, tell us a little bit about your stage and how you're feeling about questions or things that need to still be answered.
The more I learn about this, because again, it's all new to me, but the more I learn about it, the more excited I get. I'm with Miriam. Let's get the show on the road. It is very, very exciting. And of course, it just, again, breaking all the rules and doing things differently. I am all for that.
Well, I think they say, isn't that the definition of insanity? You keep doing the same thing over and over and expecting the same outcome. So I think most of us here are very sane. Call us first movers, call us whatever you want. But this is an exciting alternative, and it's about exploring this. And a lot of it is what we make of it, which is very, very exciting. Michelle, I saw your hand go up.
I just wanted to make sure you saw Kat's comments in the chat because she wanted to know about marketing and whether or not founders would be responsible for that. I know we're looking for a partnership for the platform, so that's going to be announced eventually, right? I just wondered if there is an update there.
Yeah, so we have a few platforms. One thing to really look at about marketing. This is something, again, we're going to be covering all this, but we want to pull out all these questions and issues that we're thinking about so that we know what's coming next. And the marketing, we do have partners. It's always important to have a marketing partner or sponsor along the way. We're all bootstrapped. I mean, this is not like we're walking in with $1 million and we're going to set up a nonprofit and fund it and do this. We're really organically taking the tool, maximizing what we can create from it, but we will need a marketing partner. We have a few in line and we're looking at different platforms right now. We're in talks, which is quite exciting with platforms. And next time we'll probably bring those platforms on to really discuss what they offer and the differences. Partially because no matter who we choose to go with as a group, we want you to know you have choices, and there are choices out there. And there's a lot of different reasons you might want to go with one or another. So if you're thinking about doing or implementing something similar, we hope you join us on this one. But you also can join us on this journey and do your own thing as well. So in terms of talking about marketing, it's yes, organic first. That's how we've gotten here to this date. $0, and I'm not kidding, have been spent on this movement. This has totally been organic, which I think shows how much we're tapping into something here. But we are very realistic that to move quickly, and we just got to get this going, that we're going to need some accelerants. So as we all put our wishes out in the ether, if you see someone on Twitter, if there's a celebrity who's talking about they bought an NFT, sometimes it's just a matter of DMing them what we're doing, sharing the link. I mean, there's a lot that can be done where we can ride the momentum of the NFT wave right now that is free. So that's one of the other reasons we want to move so fast. We call it the sneak attack. We're going to do this sneak attack approach and figure it out as we go, because we want to leverage the moment and not have to pay so much for marketing. Hey, Rose.
I was just going to congratulate everybody here and you on an amazing idea and all that you guys are going to do here. I would love to follow along and support you any which way I can. I'm coming at this from two other angles, as an investor and then also as a service provider. So I guess you could say I'm a founder of myself because I have my own firm. But I know there's definitely going to be ways that service providers and partners and investors, this is going to give great visibility, and visibility is always an excellent thing. So include me in any working group or anything where I can help add value, at least from the legal side of things or from the investing side of things.
Amazing. And that is an amazing offer. And we always, of course, are welcome that. In fact, I would like to put up here, let's do, this is the link so that anyone who would like to support, stay up to date on the notifications of what's happening. You don't have to be on the cards. This is our Her Changer NFT. If you use the login Her Changer, that will let you in. And right now it's password protected because, of course, we'd like to get a little bit more answers and details up on the site. But you could enter in there, at least register so we know that you want to be updated on the project, on the updates. Maybe you want to get involved down the road. We will definitely have a list that will be growing. So thank you for offering and initiating that. And anybody else here, that's where you could go to support us on the journey and really be part of the solution together. It is very exciting. And we're looking forward to so much in the future happening together from this. How about anybody else in the audience? I know we did a lot of different things, but let's hear from any questions. Mary.
Hi. Okay, so this is fantastic. And you kind of answered my question. So is it too early to start blasting this on my social media, or is there any certain, I know we had some hashtags, but is there any digital things that you want us to post? And, any special lingo, or I know you said this link is private, but, like tomorrow, can we start blasting this on social media, or is there a format to it? I want to, do what everybody thinks is the best way to get it out there. I already put a teaser on there, and I've got tons of people asking me, what's the big news? And I'm saying, big announcement. So this is wonderful. This is big for me. And so I've got, you know, like almost 4,000 followers. It's not a lot, but to me, it's a lot.
It's a lot.
And on LinkedIn, and I've got people calling me, texting me, what is it? What's going on? You know, so I'm anxious to get this out there. I'm anxious to, you know, we're creating the buzz. So if it's not too soon, I'm ready.
Not too soon. I think we did today to make everybody comfortable, but we are roaring ahead.
Awesome.
So yes, for everybody here that's ready to go, what we'd like everybody to do is to go to the registration page for today's summit. So that would be the page, have them register. Everybody who's going to register on that page will be invited to then get this login. So don't share the login. This is just for everybody here right now. We'd like everybody to register so we can have that master list and make sure it's all in one place. So it would be the WeTransact.live /Real Raise Summit. And that's the link that has the itinerary and the registration that you had to attend this event. So just send them there. And then we will have, after this event today, tomorrow we'll go, okay, here's where you go to support us. Here's where you could go as a founder, and we'll send people on their journey from there. So I already see some subscribers coming through, which is exciting from just posting it a few minutes ago. But yeah, this is the holidays. One of the reasons we ran is if people are going to give gifts at the holidays, why not have them buy an NFT? Why not have them give the gift of supporting us as founders in our movement? So we can definitely leverage this. And as of tomorrow, December 1st, we are going to be ready for everybody to get on board. And we're really grateful for you and everybody else here for making the time today and also doing this so last minute. I mean, this has been pulled together in less than, what, a week and a half ago? We were like, I think we need to stop having these conversations with a small group and share with everybody as we go along what it is that's happening and bring everybody into this whole journey together. So thank you. You guys are why this is all working. We're right at 11:30 actually right now, and I wanted to leave a little bit of time before the next panel. So if you'd like to network, share anything about what you're doing in the room, ask any other questions. I know some of the panelists who are going to be on at noon may want to step aside and get a coffee or a drink or refresh or use the restroom before we start in on the next exciting panel with all of our allies. Let's open this up to just take the opportunity that we're here together today. And any other things you would like to share about what you're doing, your projects. This is an opportunity for all of us to amplify each other. Holiday sales. Are you selling products? Do you have registrations that you'd like support? Do you need subscribers? More customers? Any of those things, feel free. Shameless.
Yeah, I need customers. But we need some big customers. And so that is something I'd be glad to speak with anyone about. We are making products with plants. So basically to work on the plastic pollution problem with bio-based or plant-based products. So we are looking for companies who will need, for example, the packaging industry. You know, you have film or, for example, you see, any little items, cups, bowls, even larger items like furniture items that are made in a plastic injection molding machine or even a 3D printer. So we make all of those pretty much, with bio-based products. So it's something that we can definitely talk about. Feel free to connect on LinkedIn and we can take it further with that.
Miriam, your product is so amazing. This is 100% natural plastic, and it's just incredible because your family knows this. I hope you don't mind me saying 4 generations. One of the longest standing companies in the world. I mean, talk about doing things the right way, generationally, your family have been leaders in the community and been a company that's stuck around. So obviously you have been doing something right. Not too many companies last that long and have that longevity. And what you guys are doing with plastic is very exciting. So I
thanks.
Definitely support and what you're up to. I see in the chat we also have, you can join the My Librarian Book Club. So that is a really great online club and remote, and of course the books that are covered there. Michelle, you've got awesome authors. You could share a little bit about that.
Oh, yes, I love doing this. It's a marketing piece to our app, and it's to help indie authors get discovered. And we're kicking off Secret Life of a Hollywood Sex and Love Addict by the actress and podcast host Brianne Davis, who is huge. You know, this is huge for us. And it's quite salacious, and it's really fun. And you can get the book and read on your own, or you can join us and we'll fulfill the ebook for you if you subscribe. But yeah, if you subscribe, we'll send you an ebook every month and you can join in discussion. So yeah, definitely check it out.
That's awesome. Good balance. If anybody's looking for a new hobby, or maybe you're working too much, like most founders, you know, this could be a good balance activity. I think having a reading hobby is always a lifelong learning. I see a really great post too, Kat from the 4th floor. This is so important. If you're looking for advisors, Kat, feel free to chime in anytime. This is one of our allies here. Hey, Kat.
Hi, guys. Thanks so much, Alexis. Yeah, no, we are a community. It's so great to see so many people who are also in our community here on this call. And this is such an amazing project. I just was like drooling to get on board. Yeah, so the 4th floor is a community, and we're about 40% founders, 40% of women looking to start their board careers, and about 20% investors. And we just believe that if we can get women on boards of early stage startups, they get to start their board careers, and the founders get to benefit from having amazing advisors, and that'll help, you know, you raise capital and everything. So yeah, we're join us. If you put an opportunity in the application, the first year is $1. So can't go wrong.
That's huge. Take advantage of it until they realize they're giving it away and they shouldn't be.
I have found the 4th floor to be very useful. I've met people on there who have helped me. Some have introduced me to potential customers, as well as people have given advice, introduced me to potential investors. And so it's just amazing. And I actually heard about the 4th floor through WeTransact. So amazing. A to B to C, this entire thing to me is a community.
I think we've all learned that we need a community to help us, but we also need a community of communities. And that's why we love working with Alexis and everybody else who's mission aligned. So it's great to meet you all.
Yeah, we're connecting those dots. Yay, they're being made across the ecosystem. And, you know, it's very exciting to have you. We're excited to have Breen on the next panel as well, which is going to be a really great topic. And I think with everything going on, you know, we want to make sure that these little moments throughout the day are here for you. So think about, okay, what could I be asking? What do I really need? What could help me even before the holidays? It doesn't have to be something big. We'd all love to have, you know, an investor check to close the round. But, you know, there's so many other things beyond a check that we want to constantly be thinking for and asking for, because sometimes those are what lead to the unexpected investor who will write you a check. I can share my own personal story. My very first startup, I had an investor write me a check in Detroit, Michigan, in a Starbucks. It was actually Bloomfield Hills, which is a suburb outside. It was not an investor meeting. It was asking, you know, questions about what I was doing, what my idea was for this first business of mine, and it turned into, I know you're going to be successful no matter what you've done. I invest in people. I recognize that. And, you know, here's your first investor check. So, you know, I would love to hear from everybody how different it is. Like, we hear in the news a lot about fundraising, like that it's, oh, you go to VC and then it's all overnight, or, oh, you have to do it this way. And I feel like in my personal experience, it's always been much more organic and unexpected when I've actually gotten an investment. So I'd love to hear from you
Yes,
guys.
let me say something because I have to run for a meeting at 3, but talk about unexpected. And this is my philosophy now. You never know who's in the room or at your table. And I have a couple of quick examples. I got asked to speak at my church and for the business group. They said, no, we usually get like 6 to 8 people. It's like, okay. Went there and just, bringing a product from idea to market. That was a topic. So only a few people, ended up being 8, including myself. So a very small group. But I just thought, you know what? They want to hear, they showed up, and I'm going to do my best. Told my story. I've always loved mentoring and helping other people that want to start their business. So a couple of ladies came up to me, and one in particular said, I want to have coffee with you. I said, sure, no problem. I'm thinking I'm going to help her. Well, little did I know that she ended up helping me and wrote me a really big check a week later at a Panera Bread. She didn't go there looking to invest in anything or anybody. I didn't go there looking for it, but it was a great fit. And then another, just last weekend, I'm at my husband's function and at the dinner table, and a VP across from us from Delta Airlines was sitting there, which I had no idea. And he was a seat filler. He was there. Everyone else were just couples. And my husband was getting an award. And my product is Palm. It's a safety wearable platform for children. And when he says, well, what do you do? And I told him, and his face lit up, and he says, can I come sit next to you? And I said, well, sure. And here is my husband's going on stage to get an award. And I'm like over here with this person. He's the vice president of security. And so we're going to have talks of how they lose children in airports every day, hundreds and hundreds, who are told, don't leave the gate. But they end up going to the bathroom. They end up going to get something to eat. They can't find them. Yeah. And so I tell people, I don't care where you're at, any place that you go, you're on. Yeah. Because you don't know who's at that table, who's in that room. And I can be a testimony to that. So I'm excited.
Thank you for sharing that. I think these are the things we have to share, how it really happens. I think there's a story that is told in the headlines, and then there's the reality we all live. And we need to normalize the reality, because it's actually very exciting and very beautiful. And maybe one day that'll replace the headlines with a more realistic story. Because
we all know how much at times it takes, how much stress it is when you're getting ready to pitch to an investor. And it's, I feel like, you sometimes, even though we try so hard, you don't want to be robotic, but sometimes you come off at that. But when you're in a position where you're not pitching, you're just being you and you're talking, and that's where the real opportunities come. And that's where I think the connections and the investments can happen when, you're and I always think everything is for a purpose, your purpose in place. So that guy literally was just a seat filler because we had one empty seat and they wanted to fill it, and it happened to be that person. So
amazing. And there is a lot. I love that story. So much is serendipitous. So much happens. That's actually one of the first investors in Tony Hsieh of Zappos, the CEO of Zappos, also invested in us. And talk about serendipity. He bumped into Tony in an elevator eating Doritos. You never know. And this was a VC. It was the first Base Ventures here, and Eric Moore, amazing pioneer. He was the first African-American VC here in Silicon Valley, so knows all about being the first to do things. And fast forward, I met him the first week that we moved in here. I bumped into his life coach as I was buying a bagel across the street Saturday morning. We chatted about what I was doing, and then 2 weeks later, he's like, I have a friend of mine who's never really crossed into his world because, this is his world, but I want him to meet you guys. And for 2 hours, this, MP was at our apartment in San Francisco, and we had 2-hour amazing call, and he became one of our first angel investors here. I didn't know who he was. I literally didn't know who this friend of his was coming in, and you just never know. And it's great to hear. I think it also is something where when you step out every day, you have to change your mentality and be mindful, and hopefully just being a good person. I mean, obviously you were friendly, you were nice, and they felt that, and you were authentic, and that's going to attract the right people. So let's do more of that. There's some great things that were shared in. Kat shared also board boot camp tomorrow. And that is really great. If you have attended, I mean, been part of some of their events, and particularly this one, so much information, very valuable. Check it out, share that, or attend. There's a VIP code for a free ticket. Thank you. Awesome. Very cool. And anything else you guys want to share throughout the day? Don't be shy about the chat. Use this to really get comfortable. We're all here doing amazing things, and the more we support each other, the more good things are going to happen for all of us. We've got about 15 minutes, and we're just using this as a nice intermission. Any other fun stories, thoughts that would like to be shared? Feel free to raise a hand. Hi, Breen. She's on early, which is great. She'll be on our panel at noon, which is exciting. Okay, we've got a few people that are stepping off, but we'll be back. Yes, Michelle, it was Wise Sons Bagels across the street. That was the one. Very cool. Yeah, mindset is everything, Shara. You're absolutely right. And thanks. Yeah, if you guys want to connect on LinkedIn, thank you, Rose. Feel free to share. I've seen some great LinkedIn links also on our registration page. Any of the speakers, panelists, we've made sure that the links to their name go to LinkedIn so that everybody is connecting more easily. So on the NFTs and the DAOs, any last minute questions from that talk? No problem, Dika. Thanks for joining us.
Yeah, I'm just really excited about this, and I can't wait to see how many founders we get to sign up. So excited to kick it off. Thank you so much, Alexis and WeTransact.
Oh, thanks, Michelle. We have had, I have to say, just as feedback from this event, we put up the information. This was very last minute. A week and a half ago, we decided to do a summit. And this just shows the power of our aligned community, our ally partners, and also all the founders that we have that really believe in what we're doing, and this founder first approach and this cooperative startup ecosystem that we can do for good. Because we have put this up in less than a week and a half. We've gotten the most registrations that we've ever had for any event, 0 marketing dollars. So this is happening, and we're excited to really be the guinea pigs to show each step of the way as we go through what the decisions are we're making as we are putting this all together. And hopefully we can all learn from this together. And we see this inspires a whole chain reaction of exciting NFTs, DAOs, and whatever the next new technology is for good. So we're excited to have you guys support us on this journey. Oh, yes, it will be recorded, Breen. No worry, or it is being recorded. So we'll edit it down. No problem. And as we come on, feel free to, I know microphones are often off because I couldn't hear you, Breen, but I saw you were saying something. So if you wanted to say something, feel free to just unmute. And
oh, sorry.
No worries. I just want to make sure we can hear everything.
Just saying that I heard part of the previous conversation. Unfortunately, I couldn't hear all of it because I was jumping from meeting to meeting, and I came in for as long as I could. But I'm so glad to hear it was recorded because I would love to hear the full thing.
Absolutely. Everything's recorded. We're all founders. Many of the registries and people who were wanting to attend weren't able to do it live, but are looking forward to the recording. We'll also be sharing certain parts of the recording, of course, that are on our YouTube as well, because we want to get this out to as many people as possible and make it easy for us all to share. As we go along, I know I keep inviting you guys to get involved, but we want everyone to know this is a we event. This is we're not trying to sell anything. We're trying to really connect us all, bring us all together and create this movement and leverage the technology so that we can actually show that there's better ways to raise money and to support founders and to end founder isolation in particular, which we've all experienced in one way or another. So just by being here, you're showing your support just by registering its support. These are all things that founders live off of. You know, knowing that we have the support, knowing we've had this kind of response tells us, it's the feedback loop that we need as a founder, that this is worth pursuing. We're not crazy. We're going for it. This makes a lot of sense, and a lot of people are excited about it. So we do want to, of course, thank everybody for just registering. Even if you weren't able to attend live, it means a lot. And you know, we get it. We don't want you to take all 4 hours. We're going to have the recorded version so you can fast forward, get to the sections you need, and access the information as quickly as possible that you might want. So yeah, we've got about 10 minutes. I think as the new panel comes up, I'm just going to chat a little bit about this panel that's up next. For those of you who may not have seen on the itinerary, we really are excited to be featuring the ecosystems of success and the power of networking. So much of all of our successes is because of the networks that we have, but more importantly, the networks that we choose to be a part of. And it is a choice. There's a lot of communities out there, and there's a lot of networks, but you really want to find those that align with your company and your mission and your values. So we're excited for the allies that are coming on while we were in stealth mode. These allies we worked with in a variety of different ways. We know their actions speak louder than their words, and their words are really loud as well, but we wanted people who really also walk the walk. They didn't just talk about it. So we're excited to introduce you to all of these allies of ours, and hopefully attract more. So as well, if you are interested in being an ally, we'll share that where you can reach out to us to join the ecosystem. I'm amazed how many registrants are still coming in even during the event. So if I don't mind putting on pause, you guys are welcome to network and chat. I do need to make sure that some of these registrations have links, so I'll be right back.